Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. Let's be honest, most advice about how men should talk to women is either manipulative or weak. But the truth is, women don't fall for fake charm or flashy words. They fall for presence, for power, for authenticity. And high-value men, they know this. They don't chase, they attract. In this video, we'll break down how high-value men truly talk to women, not with games or desperation, but with confidence, clarity, and calm. You'll learn to communicate in a way that draws women in, commands respect, and builds real connection. Whether you're in a relationship or just starting conversations, this is the playbook you never got taught. So before we dive in, do one thing that strong men never forget to do: commit to growth. Like, share, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe, and drop a comment below with your mindset shift after each chapter. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The mindset of a high-value man. Before a high-value man says a single word to a woman, he knows who he is. This is where most men fail. They speak from a place of need, trying to impress, trying to win approval, trying to be liked. But the high-value man speaks from a place of grounded presence. He doesn't need to be liked. He's already chosen himself. Emotional intelligence. Principle number 1. Confidence without arrogance. Confidence isn't loud. It's not in the bragging. It's in the pause before you speak. It's in the calm eye contact. It's in your ability to sit with silence and not rush to fill it. Women don't fall for noise, they fall for certainty. And certainty is built in silence, in discipline, in how you carry yourself before a word is spoken. Think of Denzel Washington in any of his films. He never rushes, he doesn't over-explain. His calm creates gravity. That's emotional control. That's power. High-value men don't try to be impressive. They are impressive because of the way they think, speak, and live. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's the core of this chapter. Be the man who doesn't need validation. And when you do that, your words become rare and powerful. Women are drawn to that mystery, not because you're hiding something, but because you're whole. High-value men don't chase women, they focus on purpose. When a man is consumed by purpose, he becomes magnetic. His time is valuable, his energy is focused, and his presence is rare. Two men approach a woman. One is trying to be funny, trying to impress, reacting to every cue. The other says little, but looks her in the eye and genuinely asks, "What's the most meaningful thing you've done this year?" Guess who she remembers? The high-value man doesn't just talk, he leads the conversation with intention. Advice for practice. Before you speak, ground yourself. Slow your breathing. Stop trying to be liked. Instead, seek truth. Speak with purpose. Say less, mean more. Replace compliments with curiosity. Ask questions that reveal who she is, not just what she looks like. Why this works. Women are intuitive. They feel energy. A man whose words match his calm energy is irresistible, not because he's playing a game, but because he's playing no games at all. Comment below. Calm leads. Chapter 2. Mastering presence and communication. High-value men are not just heard, they're felt. And that has everything to do with presence. Presence is not just about being in the same room. It's about being fully there, fully aware, fully tuned in. And when you master presence, your communication becomes magnetic, not because you say more, but because what you say lands. Why presence matters. A woman doesn't remember the man who filled the air with compliments and stories. She remembers the man who made her feel seen. And that starts with how you listen, how you respond, and how you hold space. Emotional intelligence principle number 2. Active silence. Most men think conversation is about filling silence. High-value men know that holding silence is power. When she speaks, you're not waiting to respond. You're absorbing. You're watching body language. You're giving her space to express without interruption or judgment. That's rare. And rare is attractive. A woman once said, The most attractive conversation I ever had was with a man who barely spoke. He just listened, nodded, and then asked one question that showed he actually understood what I said. That was it. That's presence, not performance. How to master this in real life. Make eye contact, not aggressively, but calmly. Slow your breath. Your energy should feel relaxed, not rushed. Stop planning your response while she's speaking. Just be there. When you do speak, pause before you answer. This creates weight behind your words. High-value communication is less about what you say and more about where it's coming from. If you're speaking from insecurity, it shows. But if you're speaking from grounded confidence, your words carry depth, even if they're simple. Epictetus taught we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening isn't passive, it's strategic. It builds trust, it creates intimacy, and it separates you from 99% of men who only talk to be heard. What to say and not say? High-value men don't flood women with shallow flattery. They ask meaningful questions. They listen for emotion behind the words. They don't speak just to entertain. They speak to connect. Here are examples of low-value versus high-value lines. Low value, you're so hot. You must get hit on all the time. High value, you seem grounded. What keeps you centered when life gets chaotic? See the difference? One seeks approval, the other shows depth. Watch interviews with Keanu Reeves. He listens, he answers slowly, he doesn't interrupt, he speaks intentionally. That's presence, that's poise, that's what women crave. Not volume, but value in the interaction. Your tone, your posture, your eyes. All of these speak louder than what you say. Stand tall, speak low and slow. Use your body to communicate calm, not chaos. Women are wired to feel energy. When your body and words align, she feels safe, respected, and drawn in. When you master presence, women don't just hear you, they feel trust. That's the foundation of attraction, because anyone can impress her, but only a few can make her feel safe to open up. Comment below. Presence speaks. Chapter 3. Emotional intelligence and building real connection. Attraction starts with energy, but connection, real connection, is built on emotional intelligence. Most men don't lack words, they lack understanding. And in today's world, emotional intelligence is a superpower. A high-value man doesn't just talk to a woman, he makes her feel understood without judgment. Emotional intelligence. Principle. Number 3. Self-awareness before expression. The way you talk to others is a reflection of how you talk to yourself. If you're emotionally reactive, insecure, or constantly trying to prove something, it spills out in your conversations, no matter how smooth your words may seem. A high-value man does the inner work first. He's honest with his own emotions, he understands his own triggers, so when he speaks, he does so from emotional clarity, not confusion. Why this matters in relationships. Women can feel when a man is emotionally stable. It's not about being stoic in the cold sense, it's about emotional mastery. She doesn't want a robot, she wants a man who feels deeply but doesn't crumble under pressure, a man who can feel her emotions without drowning in them. When she shares something vulnerable, the average man either tries to fix it or brush it off. But the high-value man holds space. He doesn't rush to solve her pain. He validates it. He listens fully and then responds with clarity and calm. That alone creates trust. How to practice emotional intelligence. Pause before responding, especially during emotional conversations. Name your emotions silently before you speak. Am I feeling defensive, angry, hurt? Ask her how she feels, not just what she thinks. Match her tone, not just her words. If she's soft, be softer. If she's passionate, be grounded. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Emotional intelligence isn't soft, it's forged through difficulty, through restraint, through reflection. Women respect the man who's walked through fire and came out still calm, still kind, still clear. Real love, not lust. Many men try to use charm and physical attraction to build relationships, but high-value men know that love is rooted in something deeper, emotional safety. When a woman feels emotionally safe with you, she opens her heart, her mind, and her life. And that safety comes from your ability to be present, to be patient, and to be emotionally honest, even when it's uncomfortable. Look at great leaders like Nelson Mandela or Viktor Frankl, men who endured unthinkable suffering, yet emerged with deep empathy and strength. That's emotional depth. And when that depth meets kindness, women don't just admire you, they trust you, they connect. What this looks like in conversation. Instead of just reacting, ask, how did that make you feel? That sounds like a lot. How are you holding up? I hear you. Thank you for sharing that. These aren't weak words, they're strong because they require presence, maturity, and restraint. And in a world of noise, that kind of emotional clarity is rare. What women really want. It's not about being overly emotional or dramatic. It's about being emotionally attuned. The man who can handle her truth without judgment becomes unforgettable. He becomes a safe space, and safe men are rare. You cannot connect deeply with others until you've learned to connect deeply with yourself. Do the inner work. Learn to be with your own feelings. Learn to speak the language of calm and clarity, because when you do, you become the kind of man a woman can truly open up to and stay with. Comment below. Depth attracts. Chapter 4. Love, boundaries, and leading with integrity. Love without leadership is chaos. Attraction without boundaries is short-lived, and connection without integrity is manipulation. High-value men understand this. They don't just build relationships, they lead them with clarity, with truth, with unwavering self-respect. And that's what makes a woman not just love him, but stay loyal to him. There's a myth that men must choose between being loving and being strong. False. A high-value man loves deeply, but from a place of overflow, not emptiness. He doesn't need a relationship to feel whole. He brings wholeness into the relationship. This makes him dangerous, not in a toxic way, but in a powerful one. He can walk away if he must, but if he stays, it's because he chooses love with intention. A mature man does not fear boundaries, he creates them. He makes his standards clear, not to control, but to protect the integrity of the relationship. He'll say, "This is how I give love. This is how I need to be spoken to. This is where I draw the line." And because he knows how to communicate this calmly and clearly, women feel safe, not restricted. Boundaries show self-respect. They communicate, "I value myself enough not to tolerate chaos." And when a woman sees that, she knows she's with a man who will never lose himself, even in love. Look at someone like Barack Obama, calm, firm, emotionally present. He leads with both heart and structure. His love is visible, but so is his integrity. That's attractive on a deep level, because it creates both admiration and emotional safety. Marcus Aurelius didn't just lead armies, he led his own mind. And that's what a relationship needs. Leadership without domination, guidance without ego. A woman wants to know, can you make hard decisions? Will you stay calm when things go wrong? Do you protect your values even when it's hard? If the answer is yes, you don't just attract love, you sustain it. Be the first to initiate honest conversations. Set the tone emotionally. Calm, grounded, open. Create the rhythm. When you call, how you show up, how you set standards. Walk away if your peace is being violated consistently. Many men confuse being chill with having no boundaries. They allow disrespect. They tolerate chaos, they avoid conflict. That's not peace. That's passivity. Women may stay with that kind of man for a while, but they'll never trust him fully. Because deep down, they know, if he won't protect himself, how will he protect us? What real leadership looks like in love. You're honest, even when it's uncomfortable. You make decisions but stay open to feedback. You stay loyal to your mission, but honor your woman's presence on the journey, and above all, you never beg, chase, or plead for love. You offer it, and if it's not respected, you withdraw it calmly. A high-value man talks to women in a way that leads them toward peace, not drama. He doesn't chase, he invites. He doesn't control, he guides. And when he walks in truth, women don't just listen, they follow. Because deep down, all women want to feel safe, seen, and led by a man who has mastered himself. Comment below. Lead with truth.